welcome to episode 4 of the Journey Sessions podcast. I am so honored that you're here with me today as I share with you everything that's ready to come through around the persecution wound. Now, this is very meta for me. I am sharing with you like I always do. I share from my own experience, and my own experience is valid and real and huge. And so there is plenty to draw from here from my experience to share with you. I know this. And I also am aware of the different layers and levels and the work that I have to move through to be at this place where I am right now, completely honoring what is coming through, honoring it as real and valid and impactful. What I move through constantly, and that I want to plant the seed right here, is that there is no arrival until everyone is free to fully express. None of us are, because this is a collective wound. The persecution wound is collective. So I am here just to say, this is what I have found works for me. These are the different phases, stages, to super oversimplify it all. I'm going to throw out 3 different stages of moving through this wound, just so you can hopefully, if this resonates with you, identify with where you might be at and what you can do to shift it. Okay, I'm also going to say right here that the persecution wound is a very broad topic. I am going to be sharing what is coming through around the persecution wound, specifically around speaking and expressing your truth, sharing what wants to come through, whether that's in sharing your words through speaking or writing, or it could be through movement, through dance, through the arts. But that's like now getting into a little bit of I think what I teach, what I'm sharing here today will be applicable to more than just speaking, but my experience is in speaking. So that's where I'm going to be sharing from. Also, because I am aware that persecution isn't just a wound. It's actually something that's still very much real and exists in our world. This episode is specifically for the individual who doesn't feel safe expressing, but is safe. If you are being pulled to express, if there is something that wants to come through you that you just can't hold it back anymore, and you're experiencing fear and resistance and you feel blocked, this is part of your journey. Moving through this persecution wound. This is part of the work, and it's not just yours. This is what I want to emphasize right here in the beginning. It's old. It's collective. Yes, you have had personal experiences in your own life that have reinforced this, but you have to understand how it's been passed on to you in your life through these personal experiences. The original trauma, where the wound started, was long, long time ago. And generations have learned how to silence themselves, hold themselves back, not share, not express, because there was a very real sense of danger. It was not safe. So generationally, families have learned to create rules, frameworks, beliefs, truths that are now anchored in as what is right and what is wrong into the network. And those are the messages you've received. So that's what you have to work through personally, is how you've received those messages. Messages like, you're wrong, you're too loud, quiet down, think before you speak. Where did you get that? What makes you think you can say that? You don't know what you're talking about, right? So those are just a handful of examples of how this wound has been carried down and projected onto you, which, yes, you get to work through those. However, the reason why it's so important, and I emphasize that this is older than this is collective, is because when we're working through something that isn't just in our life and for us, it sometimes feels insurmountable. And it's easy to think that there's something wrong with us, like we should be getting through this, like, why aren't I improving? Why aren't I getting better? Why aren't I able to do this? Like, why is it so hard? Why is this still with me? It's because it's bigger than you. And so I'm talking about this today so that to give you the insight and to give you the tools to help you move through this, because your voice and what you're here to express and what is wanting to move through you, what you're being pulled to share, is really, really important. Okay, so I'm going to break down the 3 areas that, again, it's an oversimplification. There's so much gray area. I'm going to break it down to 3 areas. And it's not that you graduate from one and go to the other. Here are the 3 areas. You can find yourself in any one of them or more than one of them at any time on your journey of becoming more fully self-expressed and sharing. Because we're swimming in it, right? There is no getting out of it until we are all collectively healed from it. And I think it's hard to know when that's going to happen. It's impossible to know, but I do know that the more we do our work at an individual level, the greater the impact is collectively. That's just how it is. So you do make a difference. You can make a difference, and your voice makes a difference. And so it is my hope that this episode helps you just move through a little bit more, reconnect to yourself a little bit more, shift energy a little bit more, claim it a little bit more for yourself, and so you can show up more fully. So the 3 general areas that I'm going to be referring to are silenced, scared, and expressed. Now, as scared might imply, there is fear here. Yes, there is fear here. There's very, very real fear here. That's really the emotion or the energy that we are asked to move through, to walk through when we are wanting to be more fully self-expressed, when we are truly sharing fully what wants to come through, which is an ongoing journey. How I express this is why it's so meta. How I express this to you today is going to look, sound, and feel very different if I come back and share this topic with you in 5 years. Because I would have gone through a journey where I'm going to move through more and more layers of the persecution wound as I up level and spiral up into my capacity to be more fully self-expressed. So this is ongoing. So yes, there is fear, absolutely. But what's really important to say here is that there's another notable emotion you will need to be willing to feel on this journey, and that is vulnerable. Because when you actually are safe, but don't feel safe because you're carrying the persecution wound, but you are safe, you have to be willing to feel vulnerable. So the old definition of vulnerability, and I call it old because I read it and I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. That's not applicable to actually where we're heading. Now, I say it's bullshit. It's not bullshit for everybody. I think harm, emotional and physical harm definitely happens to people still everywhere in the world, right? So the quote unquote old definition of vulnerability is to be in danger of experiencing physical or emotional harm. Yes. But for a lot of us, just expressing our truth no longer results in being in danger of experiencing physical or emotional harm. For a lot of us. We believe and we think and we feel like that is the case, but it actually isn't. So in order to shift into like that actually isn't true, and I'm willing to move through the fear, is also being willing to feel vulnerable, because you're no longer actually adhering to this old definition of vulnerability. I think vulnerability truly is to be seen as the fullest version of you, which historically in your life and in generationally hasn't been safe, right? This is the persecution wound. It's like how you show up, what you say, what you believe, what you practice, how you express yourself in all the ways is not right, and you will be persecuted. You will be burned at the stake. You will be jailed. You will be silenced. You're like all the things that have happened all over our world historically are no longer applicable now for many of us. And so to fully own that we get to now practice, speak, express, be the fullest, truest version of ourselves, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. But what's on the other side of this is absolute freedom. Because when I'm talking to the good people out there. Like, you're not here to cause harm. You're not here because your expression and your practices and what you believe and what you do is harming anyone. I truly, truly believe that there's room for all of us to be in this way. And when we drop the idea that we're harming, and we're actually not harming, we're not emotionally or physically harming anyone, right? And you get to live this way, it's absolute freedom. The door might be closed, but if you're willing to stand up and find the knob and turn it and push it, it will open, and then you get to walk through it. This is always the invitation. Okay, so I'm just going to jump in. Let's talk about silenced. When you feel silenced. And again, this can happen at any stage in your journey. You could have already written a best-selling book. You could have already been, very well expressed, with lots of people receiving your words, and have worked through a lot of fear and are at another level of your journey. And now you feel silenced. Right? And this is different than I'm just in contemplation. I'm just pulling back to be in my own energy. I'm just going into my own space to see what's going to come through next. Yes, that might be part of it too. And you also are moving through another layer of the persecution wound, and you feel silenced. What this looks like: you're very quiet on the outside, but on the inside, you are involved in a turmoil between what you want to say and the self-censoring shame telling you you can't say it. Okay, so there's an internal battle going. It's very loud on the inside. You know what you want to say, and you're monologuing it, right? You're having all these, maybe you're having visions, you're seeing yourself speaking, and then you shut yourself down. Right? You might be imagining conversations where you freely self-express, where you feel empowered, like you have a whole visceral feeling in your body, and then you shut it down. You fantasize about speaking publicly. Maybe there's large crowds of people around you. Maybe you're on stage and you're singing some rock anthem and there's tens of thousands of people, and it's just like the most empowering fantasy for you. And then you're like, there's no way in hell, I suck. I'm awful. That's just so far-fetched. These are all evidence that you're in a space, in a phase of being silenced. So how this also shows up is that you make excuses for what other people say instead of standing up for yourself. So you because you're in this inner turmoil and you're not able to speak and to stand behind what you want to say and express because of persecution wound, you also on the outside let people get away with saying things that you maybe don't agree with, that you want to have a conversation around, you want to call out, but you make excuses, and you're not able to do that because it's easier. Maybe people say you really go with the flow. You're easygoing. You're easy to have around. But your internal experience is full of tension and anxiety and irritation. This would indicate that you're silenced. So even if you've never written a best-selling book, let's say you've actually been this way your whole life, pretty quiet. And the things I'm saying here resonate with you. You're like, yes. Yeah, there is an internal battle. Yes, I am always shutting myself down. Yes, I don't feel safe to speak. Yes, I let people get away with saying shit that I want to like later on in my mind, I have this whole fantasy about how I come back and I come up with the most beautiful reply or the way I wish I would have said something comes through, and like there's regret and there's shame and there's like all this self-deprecating language. You're silenced. It's the persecution wound. Nothing is wrong with you. And I'm going to give you a little bit here about what you can do here. This is like the beginning, and maybe you've already started this work, but I'm just going to reiterate it for you. This is the most important place you can start. Take a nice, deep, safe look at what beliefs, stories, and experiences are underneath your silence. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about the things you want to say? What's the identity that you've attached to you speaking up? Where did that come from? This is the most powerful place to start, is just building your awareness around this. Because right now, you're just shutting yourself down. And you don't even know why. So when I say take a nice, deep, safe look, I mean deep as in your unconscious. So this might include, that's why the reflection of a therapist or a coach is really good, because they can help you point out your blind spots. Maybe you do journey work or meditation or automatic writing or hypnotherapy to access what's there. Safe meaning just allow it to come through without having an agenda. When you put an agenda on yourself, or when you tell yourself you want a specific outcome, you're setting yourself up for more shame. In case it doesn't turn out that way, you're like, see, I didn't do it right. Allow it to come through in its own timing. Allow yourself to be in your own timing. Give yourself lots of space here to explore this, where you contemplate this. Allow yourself to explore this while maintaining a regulated nervous system, where all your senses are in coherence, where the sights, the sounds, the smells, the taste, the feel in your body, everything's just calm and settled. This will help you access your subconscious, or let your subconscious come on board even more. So why am I suggesting this? Because it's not just personal, it's ancestral. And there's information from your life, from past lives, from past generations that want to come through. It's collective. And when you go deep in this way, and when you create a safe space in this way, you're like, I'm just at the beginning of my journey. It's like, yeah, and there's a lot that gets to come through right here. The answers are big. The reasons why are big. And they will quickly empower you to realize that there's nothing wrong with you. And then you can identify where it is safe to start speaking and expressing yourself, which takes us into the next phase, which is scared, right? I love that scared is a phase. Scared is just a place. And if you're someone who right now is in this journey and you're expressing more and more, you're sharing more and more, you're allowing what wants to come through, and you're feeling scared, you're walking through the fire. It's like this very dissonant place energetically, mentally. It's almost like you're in a power struggle with yourself of like, no, this is bigger than me. It wants to come through. And then you shut yourself down and there's a lot of back and forth. I want to just say that this is a phase. It's a very important phase. It's a very powerful phase. It's where all the undoing and the releasing is actually happening. Like it's not for nothing. We feel fear. We feel any emotion, but in this case, we're going to feel the fear the most intensely as we're moving through it and releasing it. So you're doing it right. You're doing it right if you're scared. And I also love that it's a place and that it's a place you get to move through. So if you've never experienced what's on the other side of scared, which I get to go into next, which is expressed, I want you to know that you're on your way. You will experience, it is my hope that you get to experience at times, right? Because we're constantly evolving, we're working up the spiral and down deep at the same time. We're going to hit all these again and again and again and again, if it is part of your journey to work on the persecution wound. It is my hope that you get to access expressed, where you get to be in this place and there isn't repercussion internally, where there isn't this contraction that happens after, where you just get to sit in the knowing that what you're sharing is it, period. And you just keep going. So this is how you know if you're scared. You're expressing and you're feeling the fear. You're going to dance with it, right? Something is pulling words out of you and it's greater than the fear you experience overall, right? And I'm not someone who's like, feel the fear and do it anyways. I'm someone who's like, feel the fear, allow the fear to move, understand it, befriend it, see if you can shift it. That's right. And then as it shifts and as you get to integrate with it more, it's going to be an energy that actually propels you in what you want to do, what you truly want to do. It gets to come on board. So that's why this space is so rich. This is where transformation happens. You know you're scared if you experience vulnerability hangovers. Ooh. You express, you feel amazing, and then you experience a contraction. Like maybe it's the next day or a few days later, and maybe you don't know what is happening, and that's why I love the phrase vulnerability hangover, because you know it's happening if you had just had a big expansion with expression, with being open, being seen as the truest version of you, expressing as your true self. And then a day or 2 days later, even a few days later, you start to question yourself. You start to have a lot of doubt come up. It might not even be mental. It might just be purely in your body where you feel a lot of anxiety, contraction, where you feel maybe irritated and agitated and you're not sure why. This might be because you're scared. Maybe also you're like trying to figure out what to say next or do next, or you want to create more and it's not coming and you're getting impatient with yourself. It's because you're in a contraction and you're scared. And again, this is different than just needing, if you're somebody who, this is me, like I express really powerfully. And if I'm not experiencing a vulnerability hangover and I just need to go into a rest phase, I don't have pressure to keep performing, right? I don't have an agenda for myself. I'm like, oh, I'm not expressing right now. Oh, it's just because I'm resting and I'm in sacred rest and I'm doing other things, right? But if I have this thought like I should be creating, I that's an indication that I'm actually scared. I'm not expressed. You notice things are happening in your life. Things are moving forward. And, I'm speaking to you, a lot of you that are listening here probably are coaches, and you're on the online space, you're creating content, you're running workshops, you're leaning into being more visible. But this also shows up in different areas of your life. So think about your personal relationships, the quality of your personal relationships, the connection that you have with your loved ones, the vulnerability you share. This comes from also being more fully self-expressed. Maybe it's in just conversations you have in your community. Maybe it's where you have to speak to authority, where you have to ask for something that you need from someone that maybe you don't know, or maybe you do know, right? So your things are happening. Your requests are being received. You're receiving the love and the affection, the attention, and the things you need from your partner, from your family, from your friends. You make connections easily in your community, and like maybe you're getting more people signing up for your newsletter. Maybe more people are joining your workshops. Maybe more clients are showing up and paying you for your services, right? So things are happening. I want you to just notice in all the ways that things are happening in your life, not just in the ways that you like really want them to happen. Things are happening, but you're not connecting the dots that it's because of how you're showing up. You're like missing that part, right? You're not aware of the impact you're having on your own life because you are showing up in this way. So if you're not seeing how you're the one creating this, and not just seeing it because you're looking for it, but truly knowing it, that you're leading this, that it's your self-expressed power, magnetism, authenticity, realness, and truth that is creating everything that is coming to you. If you're not seeing that, or it's like elusive to you, you're scared. There's still blocks there. Even if you are creating it, if you're not seeing it, you're still scared. So what can you do here? Because like, it sounds like a lot of amazing things are happening, right? But your felt experience of it it's not at the highest vibrational frequency where you can build on this and expand it so you can have more of an impact. So this is what you do to move the fear. Lots of nervous system regulation. So you have to balance the doing of expressing with the doing of integrating. So what does this look like for you? It could be breath work. It could be meditation, tapping, yoga, walking, dancing. However you move the energy and come back into regulation in your nervous system, in your body. Dial this up. Honor what you're doing. Celebrate yourself. Surround yourself with a circle of people who see what you're doing, who understand what you're doing, who know your journey, that can reflect and witness you with love and support and encouragement. Not just people that are like, hey, listen to your thing, or attended your thing, or I see, like, awesome, thank you so much. Like, that's great. But like people who are like, hey, I see you. I understand what you're going through, and I see you, and I know what the extent is of what you're working through right now to do what you're doing. That level of support. Because this is a big deal, y'all. Working through the persecution wound and starting to be in a place where you're self-expressing more and more and more. At the same time, you're working through the persecution wound, not just for yourself, but for your children, for your family, for the collective. That's a lot of work. That is a lot of work. You're not just putting yourself out there, and you're not just putting what you're creating out there. You're doing deeper work. And so this is why the nervous system regulation, this is why you need to really honor what you're actually doing and surround yourself with people who see what you're doing is so important. And as you expand here and you share more and you are moving through the fear and you're becoming more vulnerable, build in space and time to feel and process the emotions. right? So this is where in the silenced, I said, go deep and see what the stories here are. This is like, go deep and see what else is here that wants to be excavated, that you can bring through and shift. This will help you shift. This will create massive momentum so that you can step into the third phase, which is expressed. This is such a beautiful place to be, my friend. When you're here, you're free. You don't think about if what you said was right or wrong, or if people got it, or if you don't like that. None of that even matters. You believe the energy that is moving through you. You just believe the energy that is moving through you is here to move through you, and you allow it to move through you. And it's a beautiful, sacred journey. You know that what is being said is of the utmost importance, and how it's being said actually doesn't matter. It doesn't, because the energy behind it. It's the energy of being expressed. I want to say here that this is something that I've been grappling with, is how much do you need to practice or prepare for what you're going to express and you're going to say? Does that, a lot of us believe, and we're taught like, oh, practice and, go back to like speech class, right? In high school or college, like all the things we're taught to like have a better speech, to be more magnetic, to have more of an impact, to have people really remember the things that we're saying, like say it and speak it in a certain way. And like, yes, you can practice and get really good at those things. But if you're not actually embodying what wants to be expressed and moving through the fear and the persecution wound and becoming vulnerable with your authentic, true self-expression on a deeper level, you're not going to, like, your experience is kind of going to be the same. It's true that practice can build confidence, which allows you to become better self-expressed and move into just express and out of fear. But it's not because you're better practiced. It's because you moved through the fear. So just, that's something to watch for. I don't practice. I don't practice speaking more clearly. I don't practice what words I'm going to say so that you understand me better. Like that fucking doesn't work for me. My work and what I practice and what I do, what my practice is moving through the energies, understanding what's actually happening at a deeper level, respecting, honoring, and being in reverence for what history has been, that I carry in my DNA and my cellular makeup, that I am the one that gets to move through, and I get to move through it for the collective. When I do that work, when that's my practice, it doesn't matter what I say. What I say has impact. The same is true for you. The same is true for you. So when you're in expressed, you don't second guess yourself. The space between an idea and sharing the idea becomes clearer and clearer and cleaner, and it becomes more empowered, and doesn't have any like fear or deliberation or doubt in it. You don't have to move through that when you're in expressed. You're just like, idea expressed. Maybe you're going to take some time to contemplate to see if there's more that wants to come through. But that's part of the creative process. That's just part of like the building and the sculpting of the energy. The felt experience of self-expression is changing, and you stop replaying what you said, and you stop thinking of ways that it could have been said better. You are present with what is happening, what is being expressed in the moment. And that is everything. It's like, that's why I podcast. It's a spiritual experience for me, because when I just allow what wants to come through me, and I trust that this is exactly what's supposed to be said and expressed, I don't go back and question it. I just keep moving forward. So there's this forward momentum. There's this energy that keeps pulling me forward, right? When I'm in expressed. So you know that you're impacting. People tell you that what you share is helpful, and you believe, like, you're like, yeah, I know. You're able to receive it. Like, no part of you is like, they're just trying to be nice. Oh, thanks, but I could have ... right? That none of that is there. And you're also experienced that what you share is even helps you even more. I believe that it's in the process of expression. It's in the process of speaking. It's in the process of writing. It's in the process of the dance that more is revealed. We can never practice reality. You can't practice reality. You have to just be in the reality and be in the moment and be in the experience. That's where everything comes through. And so when you are inexpressed, you receive what's happening. It lands for you too. You become clearer, more concise, and your words carry more power. And again, this isn't because you practiced it. It's because you got it out of your own way, out of your head, and you did the work of shifting the energies. You walk through the fire, and this is the gift on the other side. And guess what? There's something you can do here. This is what you get to do here. When you're in this place, notice how it really feels to be in this energy of express. Like, truly tap in and ask yourself, check in with your body. What is happening? I'm doing it right now. What do I feel in my body right now when I'm in this expressed place? What are the sensations? Where's the expansion? What's the wisdom here for me? And deepen into this. So this is where I talk about memorizing the energetics of an experience. So if you are having an experience that you want to have more of, or you're having an experience that you want to expand on, if something is happening in your life and you're like, yes, more please, even if it's imagined, right? The body doesn't know the difference between a real or an imagined experience. So if you're in visualization and you're having a felt experience, like you're in the experience, anchor this in by continuing to visualize it, by continuing to feel it, because you know what it feels like. So you describe it to yourself. And then you notice what happens when you have this experience more and more and more, and you add that in, right? So what you can do, not just when you're in express, like I'm totally going on a little bit of a tangent here, but this is really, really important. You do it here when you're in express, but you can do this for any experience that you want to have more of. You notice how it feels, and you be present with the felt experience. You take note of it, whether you write it down and you describe it to yourself, you speak it out loud, and then you practice it. You practice the energetics. That's how you deepen into the energy and embody the energy, and that's how you magnetize more of this to you. Okay, beautiful friend. This is where we're going to transition into the journey portion of this podcast. Wow, we've gone 40 minutes in the waking up and the understanding of what this persecution wound is. And now we're going to move into the journey. So, as always, don't do this while you're driving. Don't try to do this journey while you're doing something else. Just wait until you have the space and time to just settle in, sink in, move into your body, through your body into your subconscious, where all the information is for you. This is really powerful. This is going to be very revealing. This is very important work. So I want to invite you right now to move into your body. We're going to find the expression, your true expression, and bring it out, allowing it to be revealed. Understand why it's blocked, what needs to shift, and what comes through for you when this happens. So just start breathing here in your natural way, allowing beautiful sacred breath to come into your beautiful sacred body. And with each inhalation, allowing your awareness to move into your body, moving and expanding with your in-breath and holding it for a moment. And then as you let it out, releasing anything right here that's not serving you, and allowing yourself to settle in even more, even deeper into your body. Continuing to breathe in this way, drawing in deeper and deeper, bringing more and more awareness in, settling in even more. And with every exhalation, releasing as you drop in deeper and deeper and deeper. Dropping in even deeper into your body here. Beautiful. So on your next couple of breaths, asking your body to reveal to you where your pure expression is. Allowing this to come up right here. Pure expression coming up for you right here. Using your breath, allowing it to move and to open up even more. Opening up to pure expression right here in your body. Just noticing what it looks like. Any colors, any shapes. Allowing it to show you here. Pure expression, pure expression, pure expression. Beautiful. Taking note of where in your body it's originating. Anchoring in right here what it looks like as it grows and grows and grows. And right here, noticing what does it feel like. Allowing it to move and picking up on the sensations in your body. This is pure expression. This is how it feels as it's becoming more and more alive in your body. So anchoring this in right now. Beautiful. Continuing to breathe here and allowing this pure expression now to move out from your body, just letting it radiate out more and more and more. And as it does, it's going to reveal to you here as it expands out as the energy of it expands out. It's going to surround all of you in this energy, and you're going to see within it, because it's holding this, you're going to see what is keeping you from being fully expressed. Right here, you're being shown a scene, an event, an experience, something that happened where pure expression was shut down. Continuing to breathe in your body. You can even put a hand on the part of your body where this pure expression originates. And just notice what stands out here. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you know? What is the story? And it might be an ancient, old story about what happened. Receiving all this information here. Beautiful. Now, allowing pure expression to show you now what you're being invited to do. What are you being invited to feel? What are you being invited to experience? What is the journey here that you get to move through that's going to shift the energy of this story? Allowing yourself to be witness here to what this looks like. And allowing yourself to follow through right here with anything that you can do. Maybe there's something you say. Maybe there's a validation you give. There's comfort that you offer. Noticing what are the emotions that need to be allowed here. And feeling this in your body. Beautiful. Allowing pure expression now to dial up when this shift is made, when this embodied transformation occurs. Allow yourself to see right here, how are you able to express now? What is available to you here? You may see it, you may hear it, you may know it. But right here, in this moment, allow yourself to fully receive this, anchoring it in as the felt experience. How you get to express now. Continuing to breathe into your body, allowing pure expression to fill up even more in this space as it's radiating out from your body, enveloping all of you and all of this information here. Breathing in, receiving, receiving, receiving. Beautiful. Now notice, as the scene opens up even more before you, what happens in your life when you shift this and you express in this new way? What else becomes available to you here? Receiving all of this right here. There you are. Beautiful. There is so much gorgeous information here for you, my friend. And right now, it is all available to you. You've received it all. It's moved from your subconscious. It's in your body and available for you through your consciousness. It's anchored in. Taking a nice, deep, beautiful breath into your body once again. Thanking everything that's shown up here today in this journey. Thanking this beautiful, pure expression for dialing up and opening up to you everything it's holding that is no longer in service for you. Thanking yourself for receiving this and for being on this journey and for being willing to do this work. Breathing into your body, calling in this beautiful energy of pure expression back into your body, placing a hand here, honoring it, honoring the expression, honoring your body, honoring yourself. Taking another beautiful, deep, nourishing breath into your beautiful body. Exhaling, allowing yourself to fully drop all the way back into this time and place. Stretching your arms and legs. Beautiful. Moving your hips, moving your shoulders. Wiggling your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, opening your eyes to a soft gaze. Welcome back, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for doing this work here with me today. I honor you. I appreciate you. I am so grateful for you. As always, if you want to take this work deeper, you can access the integration questions in the link in the show notes. I so look forward to our journey next time. Sending you all my love. Take care.